All In Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of brisket and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longhorns, this is All In Colts, presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. It's time again for the Unstable Pick 6. We will take turns with our predictions of 6 high-profile games around the NFL, including a couple from the AFC South. So, let's go. All In Colts.
Yes, I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. And we are the Unstable Blues, happy to present All In Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network.
Yep, I have, I do the tip of the hat every week, so
Yeah?
I brought a top hat this time, I have a top hat because it's fun. Why not?
You've always loved the top hat since you were little.
Mm-hmm.
You had a thing for Charles Dickens, I guess.
I guess so.
Or Abraham Lincoln, I don't know.
Honest Abe, technically related to Abraham Lincoln. Fun fact, by the way. We are distant relatives. As always, we want you to be a part of this segment that we have. Comment your picks before Thursday Night Football, and if you get them all right, we will shout you out on next week's Pick 6. But, as always, before we take a look at this coming week, we must take a look at how we did this past week.
Yes, game number 1. I picked the Seahawks, painfully so.
And I picked the 49ers, not painfully so.
And you got it right.
I did.
And
I sure did.
I'm happy to lose that one because 49ers, my other team. So happy to lose that one.
Next, we both picked the Jaguars to beat the Bears in London, which did not happen.
Yep, they didn't take our advice on the travel plans, and I think they felt the effects, we will say.
Yep, Caleb Williams also looked really good. So.
Yep, he did. He absolutely did. Maybe he has some long-lost relatives in good old jolly old England. Next, we both had Houston over the Patriots, and that happened.
Yeah.
So we got that one right.
Pretty easy pick there. Next, we both had the Ravens over the Commanders, and that happened. I mean, we expected it to be a close game, and it definitely was a close game.
Yep. So. I think basically the difference in the game was few, rookie mistakes maybe.
He is a rookie.
That was pretty much it. I mean, little fun fact for you. I think I told you this, that RG3, who, we have a connection with through your surgeon, was his surgeon, and the Baylor connection here that we have. He sent out a video kind of hyping up this matchup and kind of throwing it back to the black quarterbacks, and we gave a little nod to Warren Moon and Doug Williams, and he responded with, we just said, hey, all of this was brought to you by these guys, and he said facts. So thank you very much, RG3.
He appreciates the...
Yep. And then let's see. We both had the Lions coming out and avenging the 1-point loss from last year with the whole report on the 2-point conversion thing.
Yeah, definitely.
They did.
Definitely won that game.
They left no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is now tail between his legs, ducking all media at all because of the disaster that is the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe it's no longer disappointment. Maybe now it's just disaster Cowboys.
Yeah. Our flag football team, the coach, whatever way you want to put it.
Coach player.
Yes. Well, he's not a player. He is just a coach.
Okay.
He was going to play, but he couldn't because he actually played football here. So he just coaches. And but anyways, he's a Dallas fan, so I made fun of him for the Dallas and I'm like, any team, any week, my team wins and someone else's doesn't, and I know someone who's a fan of that, I always clown on their team. If we lose, I'll take whatever comes.
Right.
So,
You got to expect it.
Yep. And then the last game of the week, I had the Bills winning.
And I had the Jets.
And the Bills ended up getting it done barely. So
I said, I mean, my reasons were the uniform, look good, feel good, play good. And we talked about, and there's always a little bit of a boost with the new coach, right? An interim coach. There's always a little bit of, okay, we can get behind this guy. It was close. It was one Mike Williams incorrect route away from maybe being a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's new hope for the Jets.
Yep.
Because
Devontae Adams is now reunited with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And while we're on this game, not only did New York get someone big, Buffalo got Amari Cooper as well, which is a huge pickup.
Right.
That's like
so now Jalen Jones just added some people to his list that he's got to go up against, as if it wasn't bad enough already.
Yep.
So here we go.
Fun stuff, though. Fun stuff happening around the league. I mean, off-season signings and off-season trades and all that stuff is awesome, but definitely fun whenever two big name wide receivers like that, who have been around the league for as long as they have, still stayed very consistent, very good, get traded to other teams. It's very fun to see that type of stuff around the league.
Yep. Other thing that's fun is me at 19 and 16.
Yep. And you're over 500. I'm not. I'm at 16 and 19, but I gained 2 games on you.
You did.
Which is very, very good.
Yep. This week, the undefeateds are back, and as well as our special guest picker this week, your roommate, Jake.
Yep.
Welcome in, Jake.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. It's good to have you. So here we go with this week's picks. First up is the Lions that we were talking about against the undefeated Minnesota Vikings.
Do you want me to go first? Or
Sure.
Okay, I'll go first.
Once again, we skipped Thursday night. We skipped the London game because we didn't think that the Jags and the Patriots was that, amazing to put in here. So.
Sure. These are both very, very talented teams.
Could be an NFC championship game.
This is an NFC North matchup as well.
Yep.
In the division, this kind of solidifies who is in the lead for the division. I believe the Lions are 4-2 or something like that. And obviously the Vikings are undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
I have a trend where I always pick the undefeated team, and unless they've proved me otherwise. I didn't do that last time.
Right.
With the Chiefs.
Yep.
And the Chiefs won, but again, it's the Chiefs. But I'm going to go with Vikings. I think, especially with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, it's obviously not everything that the Lions have. The Lions still have a really good defense without him and a really good offense. But I don't know. I think that just is a detriment, especially to trying to stop the Minnesota Vikings offense that is so great. So
yeah. Jake, what do you think?
Ooh, like Liam said, this is going to be a tough game. I mean,
came out swinging,
Minnesota,
didn't we?
Yeah, y'all did. Y'all definitely did. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, this is going to be truly a tough game. I mean, with the Vikings being undefeated, this is going to be tough, especially with the Lions and the games that they've come off of as well. I do believe that the Vikings offense will be strong enough and I think that it's going to be an offensive battle that this game will be.
All right.
And I was looking at the spread earlier for it, and the Vikings are supposed to be winning by 2.5. So, I mean, I don't really like the spreads as much, but
So the
I
spread
have to
works
go with
3
Vikings.
points. 3 points is basically giving them home field advantage. So they haven't quite given them home field advantage. So it's really close.
Oh yeah, and that was a real big deciding factor into looking at it. But I think I have to go with my gut and say Vikings.
All right. There's been a trend this year where teams off a bye have not performed well,
It's
which
true.
is unusual because you would think an extra rest, but it just goes to show you what's true about the playoffs, where the teams that make a run toward the end of the season and maybe are a lower seed end up being more successful than teams who lock it up early and maybe rest players and things like that. You want to be on a roll. Right now, the Lions are on a roll. And you look at the teams that Minnesota has beaten and how they have beaten them, it's not as impressive as you might think, as the record shows. Whereas the Lions are coming off of possibly the most dominant performance on both sides of the ball that we have seen thus far this season, even including the first 2 weeks of the Saints.
It's
So
true.
I am going to say the Lions are going to win this one.
Really, Lions. Okay. So
Yeah.
we have a differentiating one already.
Yep. Already.
Right off the bat to start it.
Yeah. Next game is the Titans at Bills. Obviously, we put this one in here because it's an AFC South matchup. I'm not sure if there's much to talk about here. Jake, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to even talk about or discuss on this game. I think the Bills are just going to sweep it on the Titans. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the Bills cannot handle the Titans at all.
Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. The Titans' defense is really good. The Titans' defense is really good. They're really good. And if the Bills are trying to fit Amari Cooper in too much, too soon, that could actually work to the detriment of them.
Say the Titans are winning.
And so
Say it.
I think here's the thing. The Bills' defense is just too good for Billy Jeans. It's just where it
I
is.
was so
I'll go
hoping you would say that, so we have a differentiating one. I'm like, okay, I get an easy one.
Oh, I was just leading you along just to drop it out.
No,
You
the
got the Bills
Buffalo
too? Would
Bills
you?
are winning this game. I see no possible way. I think the Bills are a better team than the Colts, and the Colts beat the Titans.
Here's the
Simple
thing.
as that.
This is still, let me remind you, this is still the NFL. I understand all of the memes from Billy Jeans, right? Like he's been ow my shoulder. He's been crying on the bench. He did the Spider-Man this week against the Colts. Like every week is some other meme, and he's Mr. Mayonnaise and all of it. But this is still two NFL teams against each other. You can never say, I don't see any way. There's always a way that it could happen. There just is. There's always a way.
There's
May I
always a way.
remind you, 2 weeks ago, the Jaguars beat the Colts when they were 0-4.
That's different. Now, yes, there is always a way, but then there's Josh Allen, who stands in your way. That is a big man to move.
Right. And Josh Allen can also be Mr. Picks, right?
It's true. He
Like,
can.
The Tennessee secondary is too good to only have one interception this season. At some point, that's going to catch up.
Yep, it's true.
So I picked the Bills, but may it be known all of these things that I just said.
Okay.
Moving
All
on.
right.
Moving
My
on.
turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the next game is Saquon's return to the city that drafted him. This is the Eagles, who are, yikes, a little bit, against the Giants, who are who we thought they were, which is so.
Up in the air, pretty much.
Who's going to win the Saquon battle?
I honestly could see it going either ways. Either way. Eagles did get a win this past week, I believe. And
Well, they played the Browns, so
yeah, the Browns aren't a terrible team though. But they're not. They're not like on paper, they're not a terrible team.
they did just trade Amari Cooper. They're
They
only
did.
trading away players if they realize that their season is done.
But the Giants are also just they're one weapon wonder, kind of how they were last year with Saquon. Malik Neighbors is that one weapon. He is very, very talented, but it's a lot more inconsistent if you have Daniel Jones throwing on the ball. Plus, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are both back. And these two teams really, really hate each other. But Philadelphia and its fans seem to hate people a little bit better. So I think I'm going to go Philadelphia here.
All right. Jake, what you think?
I don't know. This is an either way game. I mean, this depends on which team shows up. I mean, it really does. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of either team, so this is really challenging for me because I don't want either team to win. I'll just say it straightforward. I don't want either of these teams to win. But I think that with
It could
the
be a tie.
Singletary, yeah, it could be a tie. That has happened. But I think with Singletary out and Nabbers out for the Giants, that can hurt. Well, being questionable right now, that could hurt them. But I think Jalen Hurts and having his players back as well will help them. So I gotta go Philly.
Yeah, here's the deal. You brought it up, Liam. Devontae's back. A.J. Brown's back. The Eagles are back. It's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah, I like that. Next game is Houston in Green Bay playing the Packers. Green Bay is in their all whites debut.
Yes, a new white helmet.
Yeah.
Little early in the season to go icy whites up in Lambeau, but I guess they didn't want to risk it too late and actually blend in with the snow that might be there.
Yeah.
You want me to start this one?
Yeah, you got this.
All right. I told you yesterday that it's D'Amico and Matt LaFleur, offense, defense, head coaches, but it actually might end up coming down to the opposite side of the ball of that. So Green Bay's defense versus Houston's offense. And I'm going to make a gutsy call here. I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers are going to get this one done. That Jair Alexander is going to have what it takes to shut down Houston, especially with no Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Jake?
I'd say that's a fair estimation. I mean, Nico Collins being out, that's going to hurt the Texans. But I don't know. I like CJ Stroud to be in this game. And I think that the way that the Texans have been playing has been really good. There's Green Bay. And playing at Green Bay is a hard place to play, especially when it's cold. Not a lot of teams like the cold. I know, because I don't like the cold. So this is going to be tough, but I'm going Green Bay. I feel like Green Bay may have a better shot with Nico Collins being out, and I think that Houston will really need to utilize other people, but they mostly utilize Nico, and I think him being out is going to affect a lot. So I'm going to go Green Bay for it.
It's going to be 70 degrees game time on Sunday in Green Bay. Not cold. It might be colder actually here in Texas on that time.
Probably.
I think I kind of hinted at this yesterday. I will expand more on it now. My hint was injuries. And I have a clear answer. I think Luke Musgrave is the biggest injury on the side of the Packers, and the obvious one that is league-wide known is Nico Collins, just because he is the top receiver, or was before. I don't know if he played this past week. I don't think he did.
He's definitely on IR.
Yes.
And so he is out.
So, I mean, honestly, I see Green Bay winning this because the battle of the injuries right now is in favor of Green Bay. So that's where I'm at right now.
All right. There you have it.
Yep.
Set us up with the next one. The one. Like, we came out swinging to begin with. It's got nothing on these last two.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's your turn to do
Is it?
this. Yeah,
Okay.
I did that because I talked about all whites.
That's right. Okay. I was trying to throw you off, I guess. All right. This one is the Super Bowl rematch from this past year and 4 years before that. It is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs playing Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, and the San Francisco 49ers.
Jake,
this is
you go first,
the
Jake.
matchup of the week. Sunday Night Football, I would assume. Is that correct? I didn't write that down, but
No, it's the 3:25
it's just the
game.
afternoon.
It's just the afternoon game.
All right. See,
So
why did we do this? Why did we do this? Like, what's the Sunday Night Football game if it's not that?
Here, I'll check right now.
I'm gonna look it up.
Sunday Night Football.
Jake, start us off. What do you think?
All right. While Liam's looking at that, this is, like you said, this is going to be, or should be, the game of the night. But we'll have to call it game of the afternoon.
The Sunday Night Football game is the Jets in Pittsburgh playing the Steelers.
This is the better game, I think, in my opinion. This is a completely better game. Okay.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Okay.
What are we doing, NFL? I know Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the thought at the beginning of the season was Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah.
That's the thought.
I think it's one of those Colts versus Broncos mishap Thursday Night Football type of stuff because at that time it was Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson.
Can't we flex the games yet?
I guess not. Probably too early on in the season.
They're flexing.
You're only in week 7.
They're flexing one next week, but it's not to a night game. It's just they're flip flopping
It's only week 7, so I don't think you really can. Okay. Anyways, sorry, Jake.
Anyway,
Go
Jake.
ahead.
Oh, no, y'all are all completely good. All right. This is the rematch. So this is going to be good. I think that coming into this game, being at the Niners, this is going to be a tough one because, I mean, you're at the 49ers. The Chiefs have done really good, but you also have to look at Patrick Mahomes' interceptions. I mean, he's supposed to be the MVP, but how's that looking so far? I mean, he has 6 interceptions already. Purdy has 4. I mean, I can't count out Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant because I did project on Brock Purdy and just a little dive into his life, and I would say he's probably one of my favorite quarterbacks. Just like knowing him and his faith. But I think that going into this game being a rematch, there's going to be a lot of fuel in the air for the 49ers to try and beat the Chiefs. that are undefeated. So I have to go with the 49ers on this one. I feel like they have more heat coming from it, while the Chiefs are, in my opinion, more laid back and think they can win it all.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think that's a very good. What's the word?
You did some research there, some backstory there. I like it. Yeah,
Mhm,
came in
yeah.
prepared.
My
Came out swinging.
light,
All right.
my light just died.
Yeah. We got
It's
to see your
okay.
armpit hair there for a little bit. That was awesome.
Oh, fun. So my thought is, I honestly can't choose between stats and everything like that. I honestly don't know. I don't want to go against the Niners, but I said I wouldn't go against an undefeated team. I went away from it last week and I lost because of it. I'm gonna stay Chiefs. As much as it hurts me to the core of my body, but I'm gonna go Chiefs. If it was Colts versus Chiefs, I'm going Colts. Even though statistically the Niners are a better team than the Colts are. But I'm going Chiefs just because.
This is in Santa Clara, California.
True.
And the Niners have lost 2 Super Bowls to these same Chiefs. The Chiefs are drastically undermanned from what they were in the Super Bowls and what they even were at the beginning of the season. Their number one receiver, I'm not talking about a tight end, because they don't count tight ends as receivers because
He's
they
also
shouldn't be
washed.
receivers
He's
because they
also
need to block.
washed.
You need to block and be in less commercials and stop going to a baseball game with your celebrity girlfriend when you should be practicing football. And Mike Williams is not going to be on the Chiefs this week. I don't think a deal is going to get done this week. He may be on the Chiefs next week, but not this week. So, all that to say, I'm going Niners, baby.
I like the determination. You gotta beat the Chiefs and the Zebras, though. All right.
Yes, you do.
Next game, it is the final game. Maybe one of the hardest ones yet. Again, even though we've had really hard games this week, I don't know what this week is. Ravens in Tampa Bay playing the Buccaneers. Is this a Super Bowl potential? Baltimore didn't start off too hot, starting to play really well now. Tampa Bay's been playing well the whole season. They just racked up 51 points. And then it's the first game back as well in Tampa after the Hurricanes. I haven't checked on that recently, but I've been praying for y'all out there in Florida to make sure that you guys stay safe, that nothing – I mean, obviously stuff's going to get damaged, and that's just a part of hurricanes, but that nothing too bad happens. So anyways, take it away.
All right. Jake, why don't you take this one first?
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Yes.
You're
being
well
in
researched
Tampa,
here.
Yes. I think being in Tampa, again, hearts go out to all those that were affected with that hurricane that went through. But I think with this game, this is a hard one. Both teams are 4-2. This is going to be a good game. It's going to be a good night game, especially for Monday.
The Ravens have won 4 games straight since starting
Yes.
0-2.
Which I was kind of surprised of. I was surprised they started 0-2, but they picked it up and they've won their games, so I'm proud of them for that. But this is going to come down to determination and grit, in my opinion. And this is probably one of the hardest picks for me because Baltimore has done really well, but then I look at Tampa and the Buccaneers. I don't like the way that the Buccaneers handled some plays throughout this season. I think there are some opportunities that can come to light in certain aspects, especially towards the red zone. I feel like that can come in more. And if they do implement more towards their running onto the outside instead of just running right up the middle, because no one gets far up the middle unless your name is Derrick Henry, of course. But that is not biased because I have him in fantasy. But I think that this one has to go to the Ravens. And I think that, and I may be completely wrong, but I think it's going to be a 10-point win for the Baltimore Ravens.
Even
All right.
got the score prediction.
Look at
Okay.
that. All right. Okay. It's in Tampa. I remember the first game back in New Orleans after Katrina, and that was like a whole year after it, right? Because they were displaced for a whole year. And it was against a division rival, the Falcons, and there was just this raw energy. I don't know if it's going to quite be like that, but I do think that Bucky Irving is going to have a amazing day. Whether he's running outside, whether he's running inside, I think he's going to run for 2 touchdowns and close to one in the neighborhood of 150.
So we have a score prediction and a stat prediction.
Yeah.
I think I need to think of something real quick.
Uh-oh. But I think that's actually going to be all that they can muster. That Mike Evans will not go for more than 100, and Baker Mayfield will not throw for over 200, and the Baltimore Ravens offense is too multifaceted with their run game and their pass game and their run game and their run game, and all the things that they can do in their run game that that the Ravens are going to get that one done, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Liam?
I think this could go either way. I think Baker and the Bucs definitely have this swag to them that they carry around, especially Baker. Man, I love watching Baker Mayfield play. He's awesome. But I think Lamar and the Ravens also have this different type of swag that they carry about. And I think this game is going to be a high-scoring game. Jake had a score prediction. You had a stat line prediction.
Yep.
My prediction is going to be this game will have a total amount of 7 touchdowns or more. Not by one team, but just overall.
All right.
So that's kind of like an over-under. It's over 6.5 is where I'm at with that for touchdowns. And I think Baltimore will get it done.
All right. So, it's a John Harbaugh coached team also.
Mm-hmm.
That plays into it. I'm all in on coaching, and if I'm going to have to choose Todd Bowles or John Harbaugh, I'm going to go John Harbaugh. So.
Yep.
Well, we want you to be a part of this, so comment your picks before Thursday Night Football. You could maybe squeeze them in before Sunday this week. But if you get them all right, we're going to shout you out in next week's Pick 6. But that is absolutely it for today. Colts players' fantasy stats and projections. And we will finish off the week with our preview of the Dolphins going to Indy.
Yep. This is Liam and Jake.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.